Next panel, come forward, Gabrielle Ocampo. Is Gabrielle Ocampo here?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Rachel Brown, Laura Weston, Leslie Wheat, Julia Misley, and Teresa Blanton. They will be followed by Nancy Shaw, Carol Ann Reed, Mary Ann Kelly, Cynthia Grossman, Dr. David Emmerich, and Adam Davies. Gabrielle Ocampo. Go ahead.
My name is Gabrielle Ocampo. I'm from Dallas, and my senator is John Corona. I want to thank you for your patience in listening to me this evening. I am for SB1. As a lawyer, as a woman, and as a mother of 3, including one preborn baby that sadly I miscarried, Ellen Marie, I am concerned that Texas defend and protect the weakest, most innocent, and most vulnerable Texans, the unborn. With 55 million Americans now dead, abortion is a holocaust of epic proportions. In the past, our country oppressed women and African Americans. Germany oppressed Jews. All of this was because the oppressors believed the oppressed were not human. This is the same argument many pro-abortionists use today as an excuse to kill the unborn. What we know today is that women are human. They are not chattel. African Americans are human, and Jews are human. Likewise, scientifically and factually speaking, the unborn are human. Even if we were talking about preborn animals, little puppies and kittens, we would all agree that no one has a right to murder them and rip them apart limb from limb in their mother's wombs. A mother's womb for humans or for animals should be the safest place on earth. Today for humans, it is the most lethal place, the most dangerous place for a child to be. Personally, I was an unwanted pregnancy, but I was conceived in 1966, before Roe v. Wade. I shudder to think what may have happened to me had I been conceived just a few years later.
Your time's expired. Would you like to tell us who your assistant is?
This is Nathan.
Nathan, welcome. You've had a long day, haven't you?
And this is Marshall.
Yeah. And this is?
Marshall.
Welcome. Rachel Brown, go ahead.
I would like to thank the chair and committee for allowing me to speak today. My name is Rachel Brown. I'm a graduate of Texas State University as of May and a constituent of Senator Campbell. I'm here today in opposition to SB1, and the last time I checked, Republicans wanted uninvasive government, but I guess that only applies to guns and texting while driving. I don't like speaking in front of large groups of people. However, I loathe it when government dictates what I'm allowed to do with my body. Today, you will hear testimony from people in support of this bill because of the moral beliefs derived from a Christian God. The debate should end once this counter-argument is offered. If the opposition of this bill is steeped in religious belief, then it is invalid. Religion has no place in a court and should have no such influence on law. This isn't about the ability to kill babies. It's about a woman's personal choice. This argument comes from a book written 3,500 years ago, which doesn't even mention this subject. This is a political issue, not a moral issue. This bill is a slap in the face to intelligent, educated women who find themselves in personal, sensitive situations. I've seen the impact poorly prepared parents can have on a child. I'm an 8th grade teacher and have children who come to school and go to bed hungry. These children fail classes because no one is at home to care for them. They are walking, talking, oxygen-breathing children that have unprepared parents. Texas has already cut funding for these kids' education and care. Why would we add to the stress on schools and taxpayers' funds to find and educate babies born to unfit parents? There is no scientific fact to support these proposed restrictions. However, there are hundreds upon hundreds of uncared for, hungry, abandoned children who already need parents. Why would we add to that by forcing women to keep babies they can't care for just because someone's religious morals interfere with science? When making this decision, please just remember, vote based on facts. not on backwards Bible-based stories. Look at your life, look at your choices. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Laura Weston.
Yes.
Go ahead.
My name is Laura Weston. I'm from Dallas, and I'm represented by Senator Corona. I want to go, I didn't realize that Abby Johnson was going to say some of what I had to say. But I have been fighting against abortion for over 40 years. It's been legal for 40 years, but it was illegal abortions being performed. I have been in front of clinics some 30 years, and I could give a zillion stories. But when I heard that representative of the state of Texas say that there have been no complaints about clinics, I was astonished because the complaints are published on the Internet. They are easily accessible. She said that she could, and today she was a little more evasive about that. She said she couldn't remember. Well, I can remember. At the particular clinic where I have been lately, one of the complaints was that the sterilization equipment was broken, but it didn't matter because the staff didn't know how to use it anyway. Also, the staff was giving out the abortion pills. The staff, not the doctors, were giving it out. We knew that, and because they give out the abortion pill in the first stage, shove them out the door. They vomit out bright yellow vomit with no one attending them. They're on their own. There's no sterilization, there's no oxygen, there's no blood, there's no training. It is incredibly safe, incredibly unsafe, and there is no requirement that any of this be reported. As someone else said, when they come into the emergency rooms, they don't have to report this is abortion related, and the coroner himself told me that he does not have to relate abortion deaths as abortion deaths.
Thank you. Leslie Wheat, go ahead.
First off, I would like to extend my gratitude to Madam Chair and the committee for hearing us this evening. My name is Leslie Wheat, constituent of Senator Campbell. I stand today in opposition of Senate Bill 1, and I stand with Unyielding Texas Women. As a research assistant at a major university, it is especially alarming to see dubious, substantial medical evidence beget a compelling state interest in the abortion debate. It is imperative that the scientific community works diligently to produce evidence-based, peer-reviewed information on the topic of abortion, as well as the collective subject of women's health. Should legislators not follow this same metric when citing science as the basis for compelling state interest to limit reproductive rights and responsibilities of Texas women? The answer should be a resounding yes, unless, of course, we can all acknowledge that Senate Bill 1 and the draconian measures therein is not a question of science. Even though science is the crux of this legislation, this special session, costing well over $1 million to taxpayers, is not about implementing sound policy for women's health. This is a thinly veiled attempt to systematically dismantle decades of case law that has established these abortion rights. This is a blatant political power grab, a proverbial jamming of legislation down the collective throats of Texans. This is anything but legislation to protect women. No, it's quite clear abortion is not a scientific question, but rather a moral and political question cloaked in second-rate science to lend it some legitimacy. To attempt to commandeer science as basis for answering a moral question and thus imposing one's religion on others in the name of science shows nothing but cowardice and animus on the part of lawmakers. So I urge you to stand in opposition to Senate Bill 1.
Thank you. Julia Misley.
My name is Julia Holcomb Misley. I'm from Houston, and my senator is Dan Patrick. I am in support of the bill. Today I'm here to be silent no more. When I was 16 years old, I met Steven Tyler of the rock group Aerosmith, former American Idol judge, at a concert in Portland, Oregon. And we began a 3-year relationship that ended in a horrific late-term saline abortion. I want you to know that with all my heart, I regret my abortion. And Steven himself expressed his regret for my abortion with the words, "Jesus, what have I done?" Abortion is a choice that leaves a trail of victims. It takes the life of an innocent baby, and it leaves mothers and fathers wounded and grieving for their lost child. When I met Stephen, I was underage. I moved to Boston, and he became my legal guardian so that I could live with him as his ward and lover. My abortion was coerced. I begged Stephen to allow me to keep my baby, but my choice was not respected. I was given the choice between an abortion and the street. In fear and desperation, I caved in and agreed to my abortion. I felt like part of me died with my baby Michael. He deserved his chance at life as much as my 7 children who are living do. You know, sometimes we think that coerced abortions only happen in places like China. But the truth is that coerced abortion happens everywhere abortion is legal. Abortion places a woman in a defensive posture. First, she must defend her baby's right to be born and her own right to become a mother. This is not a position of strength for any woman. Thank you.
Teresa Blanton. Is Teresa Blanton here? Teresa Blanton was in opposition to the bill. We will change her position to registering a physician. Thank you to this panel